Hey, I'm back. This is Chandler for Melda Production, and today I'm going to go over how to use multiple patterns with MRhythmizerMB. And this way you can actually combine lots of different patterns together. So instead of just using one pattern, you can use two at the same time. Now, of course, if you're using, a time, sequence and like a volume sequence, you can do that. But I'm going to show you how you can use 2 time sequences or 3 time sequences or maybe even 4 or 5 or 6. And so this is really cool. And I'll also show you another way you can actually kind of like manipulate them that I think is maybe better and easier to control, especially if you have a MIDI controller. So let's get started. So previously, I didn't use MRhythmizerMB that much. Usually I would just use the normal MRhythmizer, but I think that'll probably change because I found this little trick here. So I have MDrummer here. I have a loop. It just sounds like this. Okay. And I have that going on a different track just because it usually outputs MIDI and I don't want that messing with any of this. So we're going to get started here with MRhythmizerMB. I'm just going to open this crossover so you can see it. And let's add some other bands. Let's add maybe 4 bands here. Now by default, this will split everything by frequency. But what we want to use here is not any of these. We want to use the serial like this. So that means it's going to start here, then go into this, then go into this, then go into this. So it's just like you have multiple MRhythmizers in a row. So I'll just start with the first band. I don't have anything in here. I'm just going to click the presets here, click general to enable it. So now we have, some general patterns in here. And unfortunately, we have to do the same thing for each of them, which can take time. But actually, in the future, just save a preset so you don't have to do this every single time. I'll show you how to do it here because, tutorial, but if I was doing this all the time, I'd probably just save something like this myself. So now that we have these in here, what I'm going to do is just play this and I'm going to find something I like. So if I like that, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to take this wet dry and move this down to 100, or actually 0, like this. And then I'll go to the next one and do the same thing. And I'll just try to find something kind of unique with all of them. So now I have something kind of different for each of these. I might need to tweak these later, but we can combine these together. If you play them and then you move the wet dries like this. So you can see, you can play multiple at the same time. You can also do the same thing with the volume and filters if you want to. I like just using the time one personally, so that's what I'm doing here. But you could easily combine these. But you're probably thinking like, it's kind of annoying to go through this and each time, try to manually switch to the other band and then do this. You probably don't want to do that. However, if you have a MIDI controller, an easy thing you can do is just set it up with a MIDI control and then use a MIDI CC to control all this. So I have my MIDI controller here. Just make sure you have something set up on this. And we're just going to go to MIDI. here you have different controllers. I'm just going to click learn, and I'm going to go over here and move this wet dry. So that's going to set our control. And then on your MIDI controller, just move your MIDI controller here. And I see, oh, it set it to global 7. That's my MIDI controller. Then just turn it off. And make sure this is clicked on here. Now we'll test it. Okay, it's synced up to my MIDI controller. We're going to go to the next one. Go to the next band. Here, move this. Move my MIDI controller. Turn on. Test it. Perfect. Go to the next one. Learn. Okay, now move my MIDI controller. Turn the learn off. Enable it. Perfect. And finally, the last one. Oh, I almost made a huge mistake. Make sure that you don't accidentally overwrite what you just did, which I've done many times. There we go. Doing the exact same thing again. Turn it on. And it looks like they're all working. So now I have 4 different MIDI controllers here to move this, and I don't have to manually click around here. I can just move my MIDI controllers and switch between them. So I'll show you how you can do that briefly. So as you can hear, I can move between these really quickly and create lots of different sounds, especially for something like this, which is, basically just a static loop that plays the same thing over and over again. You can get lots of different sounds. I remember I used to listen to lots of Square Pusher, and they had lots of cool sounds like this, but I imagine he probably had to chop things up. Who knows what he did back then to get those sounds. But now it's really easy using this. And by using the MIDI controller, you don't have to worry about doing lots of MIDI editing inside your DAW. You can just turn on your MIDI CCs and record this, and you can get some kind of interesting and unique live performance things doing this. So that's how you can do it. I thought this was cool. Hopefully you did too. If you're not using MRhythmizer this way, give it a shot. You can come up with all sorts of crazy things with this because, as I said, you can use the volume and filters too. I actually didn't show that, but I might do that in a future video, show you how you can use maybe the volume and filters along with the time sequences to create even wilder sounds, especially on something like maybe a pad or something like that. But anyways, if you like that, give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave those down below, and be sure to check out all the other plugins at meldaproduction.com. Till next time, see you.